That one's for you, Dan and Pete. What's going on, guys? Hope y'all are doing fantastic today. I'm playing a little bit of Led Zeppelin. I don't know why, but it kind of gets me in the mood to talk about tobacco fragrances. In today's episode, I'm going to be going over 10 terrific tobacco fragrances that make me feel like a rock star, that are going to be perfect for this fall season. So stay tuned. Cue that intro. What's going on, my beautiful fragrance family, and welcome back to My2Scents. My name is Brian, and this is the show all about boosting your confidence through the art of fragrance and becoming a lasting scent memory. So tobacco. A lot of people think tobacco, and they're like, oh, cigarettes, smoking, pipes, cigars. Though all those things, they tend to cause cancer. Tobacco itself and fragrances will not cause cancer. If anything, what it does is it adds a nice complexity to a fragrance. It adds some richness, some sweetness, some dryness, some greenness, and it all depends on how the tobacco is utilized. Before we get into these terrific tobacco fragrances, I just want to give a shout out to the fragrance family. I hope you guys are doing freaking amazing. It's so good to have you back. If this is your first time stopping by and you like talking about all things related to fragrance, then you are in the right spot. Do me a quick favor, hit that subscribe button down below. I want to invite you to this amazing fragrance family. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so that you stay in the know when I'm posting new content. And throw me up as many of these guys as possible because it helps my algorithm and it helps the growth of this channel. And don't forget, leave me some comments down below. Let me know what some of your favorite tobacco fragrances are. Alright, with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and get into. I don't have an MD or a law degree. I have a bachelor's in kicking ass and taking names. Whiffs and sniffs. This isn't going to be a rank list. There's some cheapies in there, but I will say this. The very last fragrance is my second favorite tobacco fragrance that I have in my collection that I've ever gotten my nose on. It is stinking good, but we're not there yet. The first one on my list is definitely a cheapie. I do believe it's been discontinued, but it pops up at the rack stores all the time. You can find it at discounters. I think you can even find it on Amazon. And it comes from the house of Varvatos. And it's Dark Rebel. Yeah, I mean, everybody talks about this fragrance, and there's a reason for that. This is one of the most manly, rock star, kick-ass, dark, rebellious fragrances that you can spray on. And the ingredients used in this are freaking badass. You got rum, you got cardamom, you got styrax, you got castoreum, so it's got some oomph behind it, then you're gonna get leather. You're gonna get tobacco. This is a rock star fragrance. Now, not the most mass appealing, but perfect for the fall and winter. I like to wear this with a nice black leather jacket. This is definitely a man's man kind of fragrance. Rockstar in a bottle. Hell, it's called Dark Rebel for a reason. Get it while it lasts, because I don't know how much longer this is going to be. This next one, I believe, is the most expensive fragrance I have in my arsenal. And it comes from the house of Elixir Attar, and it's Mythique. I picked this up a few months ago. I have not really been able to wear it because this thing right here is thick. I'm talking thick. Strong and thick. This is really based around the note of tobacco. This is an extremely realistic tobacco. And I'm talking rich, sweet, dry, earthy, animalic, beautiful tobacco. Slight smokiness. You're going to get also some coffee in it. And the coffee is a nice, fresh ground, dark coffee. Some nice, beautiful rum. So you get this nice boozy sweetness to it with a little bit of spices. You get some saffron. These really nice aromatics coming from some iris, some immortelle, and taif rose. This is a gorgeous fragrance. Not cheap. Not cheap whatsoever. This is a 15 ml and I think I paid like $2.50 for it. But a little goes a long way. And it's, like I said, it's thick. Oily and thick. So this is an Attar. So you only need like a spray or two. That's it. And it will stain your clothes. Do not spray this on your clothes. I mean, you can if you want to, but you walk around like you doo-dooed all over your shirt. And you don't want to look like that. Or you're going to look like you got pit stains all over you. Do not spray it on your clothes. That's my warning. Do whatever you want. But if you're looking at making an investment and you really want to dive deep into like a really rich, beautiful tobacco, check out Mythique. This, again, rock star in a bottle. This thing's sexy. This one comes from the house of Xerjoff. And no, it's not Naxos. It actually comes from the Join the Club line, and it's Commandante. As you know, I love the Join the Club line. I'm trying to collect all of them. I've had Commandante now for a couple years, and this is based around a cigar club. So what are you going to get in it? Some really nice rich pipe / cigar tobacco. Though it starts out fruity. It's got this really nice like kind of dark fruits up top. Get a little bit of honey, you get some floral notes. It dries down really nice and woody, and the tobacco in it is more like leafy tobacco, though you get a slight sweetness from it, and that's mostly going to be coming from the vanilla and the honey. So it is like a nice little like a honey tobacco, but it's dry, kind of leafy. The patchouli in it is blended very well with the cedar, but I like the patchouli because it's nice and dense. And leather. Now I think leather and tobacco, they go together so nicely, and most of your tobacco fragrances, at least a lot of them, they will have leather in them because they're rock stars. And Commandante is a rock star. Though it doesn't get a whole lot of talk because I think Naxos is the better fragrance, this is a little less expensive, and I really think if you're looking for a great tobacco fragrance, Commandante is a great one to get your note. This next one has got a note breakdown that is literally like 3-page instruction manual. And it comes from the House of Parfumerie, and it's Georgie. Okay, so tobacco is definitely in this fragrance, but you kind of have to wait for it because this opens up the leather, immortelle, this nice peat, like single malt whiskey. Got some really nice resins in it, so you're gonna get some elemi, you're gonna get some benzoin, you're gonna get some vanilla. I think there's some pear in this as well, and once it gets into the dry down, you get this nice dry earthy tobacco. I thoroughly enjoy this fragrance. It's really interesting. From top to bottom, this is just quite a rock star of a fragrance. It's quite long lasting. I get a good 8 hours out of it, but the way that it transitions, it's not linear whatsoever. It starts out here and then goes completely different. So it starts out with that florals, and then it gets into some sweetness, and then it gets into some booziness, and then it gets into like woods and tobacco. It's awesome. Georgie kind of makes you want to say, I'm not going to be a rock star. I'm going to be a legend. So this fall, instead of just being a rock star, be a legend. Check out Georgie from Stranger's Perfumery. This next one, the big brother, always gets hyped. Always gets talked about. And this guy kind of just sits in the background like the black sheep. And it's Bentley for Men. Black edition. See what I did there? Black sheep. Anyways, though tobacco is in this fragrance, it's not the star of this fragrance until the dry down. It starts out with a bit of that benzoin, kind of gasoline-y violet, but it's not too much. It's not going to be like your Fahrenheit. But you also get some tangerine, some pink pepper, and then when it starts drying down, jasmine starts rolling in. You're going to get this really interesting papyrus, patchouli, some earthy notes, and then, of course, tobacco and cedar in the full dry down. I really enjoy this fragrance. This will pop up at your rack stores. You can also find it at your discounters for a really good price, and it's a quite long-lasting fragrance. Perfect for the fall. So I'll have you saying things like, you can't arrest me, I'm a rock star. You want to smell like Mick Jagger? Check out Bentley for Men, Black Edition. Next up comes from the House of Parfums, the Nicolai, and it's Cuir Cuba Intense. Newer to my collection, but man, oh man, now that I've been doing some testing with it, this is a 3-season fragrance. Could be a 4-season fragrance, depending on the climate that you live in. It starts out with this really nice anise, licorice, and some mint. And the mint is really nice in this. It's kind of green, it's fresh, and it's just invigorating. You're also going to get some Sicilian lemon in there, and then some lavender comes rolling in just to say, hey, I'm aromatic and I'm going to be serving you today. And then you start getting some spices, some more aromatics come rushing in, and then tobacco. And the tobacco in this is beautifully done. It's like a nice Cuban cigar tobacco. A little rich, a little bit dry, nice and leafy, but also a little bit of sweetness to it. It's a beautiful fragrance, long lasting as well. This kind of makes me feel like I would be in the Beatles. You know, kind of old school, a little bit luxurious, a little bit bougie, but still trend-setting. Do yourself a favor this coming fall. Check out Cuir Cuba Intense, Parfums de Nicolai. It is a badass tobacco fragrance. And it's Tabac from Terence Hughes. Now, I can't wait for Smolder, which is coming out on the 1st, and trust me, I'm totally getting my bottle, and you should too. But if you want an amazing tobacco and vanilla fragrance, Tabac. Now this has got some nice filthiness to it. It's kind of dirty and earthy and tobacco and spicy and vanilla and sweet. Now this is a long-lasting fragrance. Long-lasting. It's got that Terence Hughes DNA, and whatever he does in each one of his fragrances, he creates a beast mode fragrance, and this is beast mode. You spray this on, you'll smell like a rock star from the AM to the PM to the next morning to possibly the next evening. This thing is long-lasting. It's a beautiful fragrance, and I highly suggest checking out Tabac from Terence Hughes. This is a true rock star. Check it out. This next one is, oh God, it's got to be in my top 5 of tobacco fragrances. Comes from the House of Parfums de Marly, and it's Herod. Now, this doesn't start off straight up with tobacco. It starts off with cinnamon and pepper, a beautiful cinnamon. But very quickly, that tobacco comes rushing in, and it's this nice, rich, moist, sweet tobacco. And then shortly after, you're gonna get some nice incense, and it's nice spiciness. So it's nice and spicy throughout. Vanilla, you get some nice, dense, dark musks in it. It's a beautiful fragrance through and through, super long lasting as well. I get 12 plus hours out of it. It's a beautiful fragrance. It's nice and sensual. It's a sensual tobacco. This has been out for quite a while now. And if you haven't done yourself a favor yet, get your nose on this equestrian rock star, because this thing is freaking amazing. That's Parfums de Marly, Herod. This next one, I only had a decant sample for the last few months, and I finally pulled the trigger and got myself a full bottle. It has become my second favorite tobacco fragrance of all time. My first being Tobacco Vanille from Tom Ford, and that will definitely make some lists later on. But the fragrance I'm going to be talking about comes from the House of Argos, and it's Triumph of Bacchus. Guys, first of all, look at that bottle. This thing probably weighs like 2 or 3 pounds. It's hefty. I mean, it's so beautiful. This thing just looks so amazing sitting on your shelf. The juice, look at that juice. Now this has got this really nice peach note up top and also some nice booziness. And I love the booziness. This is just a scrumptious, mouth-watering, tobacco, fruity, boozy, beautifully blended fragrance. You get some nice aromatic touches in it, but the tobacco, it's rich, it's warming, it's sweet with some nice vanilla. Oh my God. Now, Triumph of Bacchus does get compared to this one, Mancera's Red Tobacco. I will tell you this, there are similarities. There are. This, in my opinion, is better. This is still great. This is better. This is more rough around the edges. This is refined, sophisticated, and elegant. This is more for like a leather jacket. This is more for a suit and tie. This is a beautiful tobacco fragrance. I'm going to leave a link in the description down below where you can go check out the House of Argos. You can get yourself a discovery set. This is one of those fragrances that'll have her singing Stairway to Heaven all frickin' night, because it's frickin' amazing. Definitely get your nose on Triumph of Bacchus from the House of Argos. So guys, fall is right around the corner. Tobacco fragrances are perfect for the fall and winter. Though you can wear them throughout the spring, most of these are gonna be ballers, rock stars, whatever you wanna call them, once it gets nice and cool and cold. Though today it was 95 degrees, so I don't know why I'm doing this episode, but I'm glad I did, because we gotta be prepared, because September is almost upon us, and that means the cooler weather is coming. The leaves are gonna start changing, the air is gonna get a bit cooler, and it's time to bust out those terrific tobacco fragrances for the fall. So that's it for me this evening, guys. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And always remember, you are stinking beautiful. And until next time, happy scent trails.